What's good, family? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we got some truly unfortunate news right now. Eddie Hearn, as per my contacts, has essentially completely ruled out the Bivol vs Canelo rematch. Now, I've been covering this particular topic of Bivol Canelo gate ever since the fight happened. Can you believe it? It's been 3 months, 3 months since Bivol rolled up that carrot top pack, 100%. Dmitry Bivol rolled up that Mexicano carrot top pack and smoked on it nicely. Yeah, that carrot kush, 100%. Call me a liar. Did or did not Bivol smoke on that carrot kush? 100%. Mexicano carrot kush got smoked on. He smoked the whole lot as well. The whole pack got smoked. But anyway, like I was saying, I've been following the debacle and it hasn't been looking good. There's been ups, there's been downs. At one point, don't forget, after the fight, after Bivol pushed in Mr. Carrot Top's dinner. Oh, we want him next. You know what Canelo's like. He a true warrior. He won it. Next thing you know, bait and switch. Canelo versus Old Lofkin. What? Gennady Old Lofkin? Yeah? Old Ardy. Yeah? Old Ardy, Old Lofkin. What the fuck? What do you mean? Canelo's going to fight Old Ardy Golovkin. Who want to see that? Golovkin just went life and death with some random ass Japanese cat. Ain't no one trying to see that one. Guess what? Canelo all over it. Canelo all in the video at the press conference acting real tough. Yeah? Staring people down and puffing his chest out. Guess what? Canelo weren't doing no chest puffing when he was in there with Bivol. He just wasn't. He was looking super effeminate. Super feminine. Yeah? Super beta. He's back was against the ropes. And he was down all the way bad. Now I tell you that to say, Mr. Woofer, I'm all-time great status. I'm all-time great character. I always want to get back. Mr. Get Back is now Mr. Want to fight Old Lofkin pack. Yeah? That's what you're doing now. We must stay consistent, people. Imagine if someone else lost. Imagine if Jamel Charlo had lost, yeah? And he go and do something else. When we watched Charlo versus the other guy, Castaño, and people thought he lost. Rematch. We must stay consistent here. This guy, no one didn't ask him to go up to 175. He took it upon himself. Got way too gassed, talking about heavyweight and cruiserweight and this, that, the other. He made his bed, now he must lay in it. And honestly, I wouldn't even mind so much if Canelo had to come out after the fight and said, you know what, I got beat and I bit off more than I can chew. I have been humbled. At least then we know, fair play to the guy, people make mistakes. That's life. But the fact he came out and gassed everyone up. Oh, you know what I'm like. There's no way I'll be able to sleep without revenge. Giving it all that he did. And now he's got Eddie Hearn wheeled out, doing all these weird ass games, trying to run the narrative rather than being honest. The truth is, Bivol's got my number and I don't want the smoke. That's all you have to say. Don't be fronting trying to be hard with Golovkin when you weren't even a bit hard with Bivol. We know Golovkin can't really defend himself now. Realistically, he old. He dusty. Yeah? His bones super duper dusty. Crusty. Rusty. Yeah? Golovkin will have rust at his joints. He's that old. There's no doubt about it. You can see his barnet. Golovkin's barnet is another inch further back. Yeah, Golovkin's rocking that Stephen A. hairline barnet right now. It's back here. Yeah? So, that's not a good sign. If your barnet keeps receding further back, that's key signals that your hormones are changing and you're becoming more old. You're becoming more beta. That's just a fact of life. Look at Bivol. Look at Bivol's barnet. His hairline almost to his eyebrows. Super duper short hairline. That's because he's full of alpha male hormones. Yeah? He in peak shape. And guess what? Canelo don't want it. That's why he playing these weird games. Right now, Eddie Hearn is lining up all the killers at 175 to get him off of Canelo's back. And I haven't got a problem with that. I don't care what Bivol does going forward. But what we ain't going to do is try and spin it like, oh, well, at the moment, Eddie Hearn's trying to spin this, yeah. Like, oh, yeah, Canelo really wants it, but other things are getting in the way. Stop the cap. You're scared to death of Bivol, and that's fine. Be honest. And it's kind of like the whole lot for me just don't sit right. And that's why I'm not letting it sit, because it wasn't just the fact that he lied to us and told us that he wanted the immediate rematch. It was also after the fight. He said, I thought I won. I thought I won 7 rounds. So wait a minute. If you thought you won, why aren't you going into an immediate rematch? Which is it? Either. Innit? Explain that. Because Golovkin ain't going nowhere. We know Golovkin. Golovkin's been begging for the trilogy for 2 years. Waiting another 6 months wouldn't have been a problem, would it? Golovkin's already old. He ain't going nowhere. So if you know you won, and if you're so eager and you know I want the immediate rematch, why is it not happening? Explain. Explain. Exactly. Because you're capping. And that's why it don't sit right with me. I'm sick of liars. And I'm actually shocked, you know. Well, I'm not shocked because it's 2022, but I'm disappointed because at one point I was banging the bandwagon of Canelo. I actually thought he might be one of the greats of all time. I really did. I got sucked in and I forgot one of the key principles of boxing or of top level sport. Yeah, don't listen to what people say when they're riding high. That's not when you know the character of a man. You don't know how good someone is when they're beating everyone. You know how good someone is when they come through adversity. And it sounds cliche, but that's actually the truth. Because we all thought Canelo was a god when he was beating all these bums. Then he got in there with someone half decent and he looked less than average. He didn't even try and find a way to win. He rolled over and got his belly tickled. Yeah? Bivol rolled him up and smoked on that Mexicano carrot top pack. Yeah, simple as that. Anyway, let's get to the quotes. I've done most of the analysis already, but let's get to the waffling quotes from Hearn. Here we go. The fact is, to fight Canelo Alvarez, Bivol may have to get through Buatsi and Zerdo to get to the Canelo fight, or Zerdo then Buatsi. That fight just isn't definite anymore, because you can't just wait until May. It's impossible. So there's always risk in those fights. So hopefully Canelo Alvarez and Triple G have a tremendous fight in September, and if Canelo wins, he will look forward to that rematch. But Bivol is going to be fighting too. And don't forget, Bivol wants the Artur Beterbiev fight. Buatsi has beaten really everybody there is to beat. It's time for him to challenge for a world title. If we get the Bivol fight with Buatsi approved, the winner would have to fight Zerdo. Anyway, obviously there's the Canelo Alvarez fight that's waiting in the wings. There's a bit of a logjam. I'm sure it'll all play out. Listen, the key point here is, and you might have to remember that trust me, I'm hearing things on the inside. Facts, big facts. This is the key quote here. That fight isn't definite. You can't just wait until May. It's impossible. What does he mean by that? Bear in mind, people, Canelo is the number one money man in the game. What do we know about the number one money man in the game? Nothing is indefinite. Yeah, if Canelo says he wants something, when have you heard of that? When have you heard of Mayweather wanting something and not getting it? It don't exist, people. About that fight isn't definite. How could it not be definite? Canelo either wants it or he don't. If he wants it, it's done. Oops. And that's why I tell you, you have to read between the lines here. Yes, he'll say, oh, well, yeah, Canelo will fight Bivol after this and after that. Listen, if Canelo wanted it, it'd have been done already. Yeah, this shows you the true intent. That fight isn't definite. Which tells you Canelo and Eddie Hearn have had conversations that reinforce that belief. Put it this way. If Canelo was sitting there, and telling Eddie Hearn, Eddie, after this fight, I want you to start booking the Bivol fight. Get it done no matter what. I don't care how long I have to wait. If I have to wait until the Zerdo thing's finished, fine. Eddie Hearn wouldn't be saying that fight isn't definite. He wouldn't be saying it's impossible. He'd be saying, listen, I've been given a blank check by Canelo. He's told me he doesn't care how long, he doesn't care what potential obstacles they are. He's told me to get it done under what circumstances. Whatever circumstances. He wants Bivol badly. Boom. That's how the big money men work. They say something, it gets done. So the fact that Eddie Hearn's sitting here saying it's not definite tells you Canelo is telling Eddie Hearn, listen, I ain't got no intention. He won't say that blatantly, but I guarantee you Canelo has not mentioned anything about Bivol. Yeah? And if anything, I believe Eddie Hearn right now is trying to set up as many obstacles in the way. Because what Eddie Hearn needs to do now, is put time between the loss and Eddie Hearn doesn't want Canelo to be a free agent and Bivol to be a free agent. That's what he doesn't want. Because then the fans start saying, wait a minute, Canelo's not busy, Bivol's not busy, what's going on? Eddie Hearn needs to keep Bivol back to back busy. So that in 18 months, 2 years, everyone's for the most part forgot about it. Do you know what I'm saying? One of them ones. That's his plan. Facts. It's a shame, but that's why, for me, Canelo fell right out of the top ticket. Number one, how he lost. And number two, his actions afterwards. He went out all the way sad.